them back. Boy, we from the land and we proud of that. Louder man, front to the back, here we go, I got them shouting that. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Let's go. Game on the line, Joe Thomas, I promise. Jim Brown running through opponents, how I got this. I return like Josh Cripps. Paying for the mini, got the dog pound jumping. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Stand up. Here we go, Brownies. Let's go.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Here We Go Brownies podcast. First and foremost, yes, we're coming to you at 7:20, not 7 o'clock tonight. We had some technical difficulties. Facebook wants to re-verify you every several months, so we had to work through that. But we are live tonight, guys. Allie is taking a sabbatical. Really, she's just working her full-time job. She is in New York this week doing that gig. So, it's been a hot minute since Larger Than Life Larry. By the way, this is the new name I've given Larry as of today. Larger Than Life Larry. I'll ask Ray's opinion on that. But we're going to get into the draft. These mock drafts are out there. All these weird things that happens for smoke screens and all that. 1 week we're taking Abdul Carter. The next week we're taking Shedeur Sanders. The next week we're taking Travis Hunter. The next week we're trading down. It's the silly season. So we're going to get into that. First and foremost, Ray, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. Hey, by the way, I love that Larger Than Life Larry. I love it. Loving it. We got to get t-shirts. T-shirts for that.
I just lost 10 pounds and now I'm larger than life.
Yeah,
that's that's personality. When you come into a room, it's larger than life. It's your personality.
Right, so Larry, if you lose another 10 pounds, you're only creating the larger than life Larry because you're basically larger than life, right? At the end of the day. So you're all right,
enough of this crap. Go Brown.
Your persona non grata is larger than life. Do you get it?
I don't know what those big words mean. I don't know.
Hey, that's okay. We're okay. So Larry, first and foremost, let's tell everybody about this. These are a couple updates I'd like to give everybody. The Here We Go Brownie Show is going to be live. That's right, live from the NFL Draft Wednesday night in Green Bay. If you can picture the setting of the background of Lambeau Field, Larry is physically taking the bus to the draft, creating Muni Lot 2.0. We're excited about that. Any Browns fans that are attending the draft, I've never personally been to Green Bay, so I'm super excited for this trip to take in where the Lombardi. You know what? I may die before I see a Lombardi, so I at least should go see the city where the Lombardi was invented. Just kidding. But it'll be a fun trip. We're looking forward to it. Larry, I know you're excited. Well, Larry, let's just talk about this. We went to we went to Vegas. We went to Kansas City. We've taken this. We went to Seattle. Let's talk about this a little bit. Your bus, it's worldwide. Talk about what the experienced people will get that are going to come check us out in Green Bay first and foremost.
Well, first of all, nationwide. That's why we picked Seattle. It was the furthest place we could go, which made it the stupidest idea. Is the reason why we went. Browns fans, that's how we roll. All right, but no, we're gonna go up early, all day Tuesday. Get up there probably Wednesday morning, early in the morning, as early as we can. Make sure we can get right in there. The place is gonna be mobbed. From what I've heard, they're gonna have buses going from Milwaukee up there daily. So I mean, it's just gonna. Once we're in there, we're in there. We're gonna leave the bus sitting at the bar. We're at what's the name of the bar again? Dustin?
Kroll's West. That's a good point. We are going to be headquartered central at Kroll's West Bar, by the way. This is a bar that has been in Green Bay for nearly 100 years. It is literally the closest private restaurant to Lambeau Field. It literally is across the street. So it's going to be really cool. So we'll be doing the show live. I believe it's 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'll do it normal time. Look
All right,
forward to the guests.
but I got to give a little background. Dustin has worked the phones for at least 4 months to convince this bar owner to let us put this bus over here. The party's going to be, he said there's going to be 20 to 25,000 people at his bar on the outside and inside over a 2-day or 3-day period.
It's crazy.
So yeah, you come on down. We'll be on the bus. The bus will be open. You guys come on, do it just like you're in the Muni lot. If you're in the Muni lot, you're going to be at this. Is going to be. We're going to call this. This is going to be Muni Lot North. That's what we're going to call this. We'll put that on the banner.
Yeah, or Lombardi North. We could call it, Browns Lombardi North. Whatever we want to call it. But guys, let's give a couple shout outs to a couple of our sponsors. By the way, I got to go into this place last week. 6 Northeast Ohio locations. Let me just put this pulled up there. It's City Barbecue, guys. If you have not had City Barbecue, you've got to try it. By the way, 6 Northeast Ohio locations. I had the hot Nashville chicken sandwich. Never had it. It was amazing. I had that over in Beechwood. But they're in Avon, in multiple communities, Medina. But check them out. City Barbecue, 6 Northeast Ohio locations. Look at that. Ray's showing off a card right there from the wonderful folks over at City Barbecue. But guys, who doesn't love barbecue at the end of the day? So go over there, check them out. That's City Barbecue. Want to give these guys a quick shout out. They're going to come by our tailgate on Friday. Larry doesn't even know this yet, so Larry's getting a little surprise on the show. But our friends over, these folks really do like Larry. True Fan Travel is actually going to be in Green Bay. So they're going to come over. We're going to interview those guys. They're the ones that are putting on the trip to London. That's right, the trip to London for all Browns fans. And if you use the code Brownies, all one word, you get $100 off your package to London when you book your travel with that. So use the code Brownies to get $100 off from our friends over at True Fan Travel. So guys, let's get right into it. In the course of the last 6 weeks, I gotta say this. I think the Browns have played one of the best poker hands, better than they ever have, at the position of the draft. Some days you got people convinced they're taking Shedeur Sanders because they need a quarterback. And then there's are like, well, maybe they're going to do this Kirk Cousins thing. He's going to come in, so you don't need that. So then Travis Hunter, no, they're going to go defense because it's a surefire pick to lock on both sides and make a menace in the NFL. Or the Browns trade down. So I'll start with you, Ray. We've all seen the smoke screens, but I think the Browns have done a pretty damn good job of not really showing their hand of who they want to take. And I think most of the time you kind of have the Browns, I don't want to say figured out, but you kind of be like, this is who they're taking. It's kind of a no-brainer. And then typically that happens, right? The Browns got lucky, got JOK a few years ago because he fell to them at their pick. But Ray, if you're out there on draft day and the Browns are on the clock at number 2, what do you see the Cleveland Browns doing?
Well, before I do that, let me preface your question with this. I heard news today that Bryce Hall, the 2,800, he rushed for 2,800 yards last year for the Jets, that he may be an interesting trade piece for us. So, having said that, if that trade happens, then everything I'm about to say is out the window. But if it doesn't happen, I'm going, hey, we need a quarterback. I'm going with Sanders.
And so you're locked in at Shedeur Sanders.
I'm locked in. Unless, like you say, like now if they come in and they bring in Cousins and then the quarterback is, then you go somewhere else. But if everything stays exactly like it is today, I'm going Sanders and not looking back.
All right. Larry, you're at pick number 2. You're on the board. Who do you take?
Okay, so I can't get excited about anything but Hunter. It's just the talent of that kid to be able to be part of offense or defense. Hell, in this case, you got a guy that you can put him in either side, and if you left him there the whole time, you got one of the best guys in the NFL. Well, let's see, he's projected to be that good. But the only reason why, and I'll tell you, Shedeur Sanders, I I always loved his dad, but I don't want his dad involved with the Cleveland Browns. All right. So to me,
Yeah.
Sanders is better. The way I look at Sanders is the place he's going to end up with is either the main reason I think it's the Raiders is because I could see Las Vegas with the old man and his son, and it's just too alluring for the Raiders to not. You know, what I mean, we've gone after quarterbacks, with Baker and with what the other goofball. That was all for hype. It was all for the marketing of it. Well, Sanders is a good marketing thing. I just hope, all due respect, Ray, I don't want the hype. I don't want it. We already seen it twice, and what I want now is I want stature. I want Will Howard or somebody close. That's what I want. I want somebody big and close.
Yeah. So for me, I think I've changed 3 times. I feel like the media is influencing me. Imagine that. But, at the end of the day, I understand where you're coming from, Ray. If you miss on a quarterback and he was there and then he has a great season for somebody, you look like a fool, right? And then you're no longer going to be a GM in the National Football League for very long because the owner's going to be like, look, you're a talent evaluator. This is your job. This is why I hire you. This is what you're supposed to do. Now, if the Browns certainly do have some kind of trade or agreement in place, and what I mean by that is, I don't know why in the hell Kirk Cousins would be in Westlake, Ohio, going to a Chipotle, and then later that evening going to our good friend City Barbecue in Avon.
Part of the smoke screen, baby.
Well, no. Well, the Browns say it had nothing to do with them, and I find it funny that the Browns were out of town, and Kevin was in one town, and the owner and those guys were in separate towns. That's a really good way to say that there's no smoke there. But people don't come to Northeast Ohio in March for vacationing on the west side, like especially a guy that lives in Atlanta where it's nice
That's
weather.
true.
Like, you just don't, huh?
That's true. You're absolutely right.
So they're not coming here to just kick the tires and check out houses over there, and then to post with people in those restaurants and stuff. I feel like, and of course, and we don't know this, and the Falcons have not said this. I mean, there could have been something that basically says, hey, we're working out something with the Cleveland Browns. We don't want it to be public. You can go check out Cleveland, and we give you permission because clearly we already have our quarterback of the future. And if you want to go check it out, spend a day there, come back home, and then we can talk those things.
Hey, Dustin,
Yes,
how these big teams can make smoke screens? The Browns could have called him up and said, we'd like you to come up to Cleveland. We're not going to be around, so we're not going to talk, but we want you to be seen at least 2-3 spots. That's how easy that could have been smoked. So that's the part I love about this.
But the Browns can't do that. That's tampering. That's what I'm saying. So the Browns can't even have a conversation with Kirk Cousins because he's property of the Atlanta Falcons. So
However,
I see what you're saying.
However,
okay.
he's real close with Stefanski, and Stefanski could easily had his wife call. That's not tampering.
I think that's too close to the vest. I just think if something's going on, I really do think, and I mean this wholeheartedly, it's a gentleman's agreement between the Falcons and the Browns. Like, you can talk to the Browns, and this trade isn't going to happen till a post June 1st or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen. And clearly, go ahead, Ray.
I got a question for Larry. So Larry, you're put off on Sanders simply because of Dion?
No. I didn't finish the statement. You're right. That's one of the reasons. But I'm not on Sanders because of the stature. I've been in Cleveland, and we've all been here long enough that we haven't had a Josh Allen since Bernie Kosar, and he wasn't a Josh Allen. So, I mean, can we just at least try it one time? Can we get somebody that's got 6'4", 235, okay, Does he need working out? Yeah, sure. Needs a little more muscle, needs to be, I mean, they'll do that. They'll pump them all up. But I'm just saying, from my standpoint, I'm more interested in a quarterback with stature. I've looked at, I've looked at half or 3/4 of all the ones available. And the guys there's only 2 or 3 guys that fit into that category. Cam Ward, I would have loved Cam Ward. I would have loved to have him, but we ain't getting him.
So to paint that picture for you, Larry, I do believe if the Browns really are in on someone like Kirk Cousins, and they do take Travis Hunter, they probably still are moving back up into the first round.
I'm glad you said that. This is what I've been thinking about. The Browns need to pick between Cleveland, or between our pick and the Steelers. They're at 21. Somewhere in that group, there are 18 teams. You got to find one of them to let you trade into them, and then you got control over the whole thing yourself. That's all the Browns have to do is move themselves back to be. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I've told you this, Dustin, many times before. He is too close. Will Howard is too close to Ben Roethlisberger, and the Steelers will take him. And no one's going to be shocked because everyone keeps wanting to put Will Howard and some of these other guys down into this. Oh, they're the third round guys, dude. They're only in the third round because the media and the teams want you to think they're the third round. They're going to move up. I'm going to tell you, if we don't get Will Howard before 21, the Steelers that kid is going to beat the hell out of our team for the next 15 years. You mark my words. That's it. I'm all in on that.
Well, I was going to share a little information that I got from a conversation of a guy named Van Pelt, who used to be with the Browns. And he said, don't think in a minute that even at number 19, 20, 21 in that range, that the Steelers don't take Will Howard. And
yeah,
so
they'll move up. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So but Larry, you bring up a very interesting thing. If we truly are not in on Shedeur Sanders, and the Titans canceled the visit with Shedeur Sanders, so they clearly are saying, look, we're kind of showing our hand. We're in on Cam Ward, unless somebody wows us to the point where we can't say no at that first pick in a trade, right? So if that's the case, and a lot of people feel that Shedeur Sanders would probably fall to the Saints. And I got to tell you, Kellen Moore, my guy from Boise State, who's the new head coach there, he would probably know how to get the best out of a quarterback. That guy is a guru. He got the best out of Dak Prescott. He got the best out of Herbert. He had the best season when he was in San Diego. And, oh, by the way, he just happened to be the offensive coordinator that just won the Super Bowl. So I think Kellen Moore knows what the hell he's doing. So at the end of the day, I think they'll probably take a quarterback. And since he's a quarterback's coach, offensive genius in that space, I think he does take a quarterback. And then I think Shedeur Sanders is off of the board. And then if you're the GM of the Cleveland Browns, at that point, after the Saints, you got to start making calls with those teams right after the Saints, because now that stack of the rest of the best is sitting there for you to look at, right? Because now 1 and 2 are off the board, and I think most people figure or agree that the best 2 quarterbacks in this draft, according to the naysayers, and we all know sometimes they don't end up working out. Like, I mean, here's the truth. Cam Ward may go at number 1. We've seen this. And then he doesn't even pan out at quarterback. Shedeur does great and somebody else, and Cam Ward's a bust. I mean, that is a real thing that happens in the NFL every season with these quarterbacks. So
listen, no, go ahead. I want to say something about you're right on with what you're saying. You're right on.
But I mean, if the Browns really think that they just don't want to take a quarterback that high, I think you come back into that best of the best of the rest of the group and say, out of all those guys, and by the way, it may not be Will Howard on the Browns board. It may be Emil.
Yeah.
You
still right. What you're saying is right. You definitely move yourself up, so you got control, and you take who you want, and don't worry about how far up they are because of it. Don't worry about that. You get who you want.
Well, hey, real quick. I did a mock draft today, and I took Sanders in the first, and I took Will Howard in the fourth.
I would just.
So
I like Ray. I love that. Take 2 of them. I love that.
But I think he'd be gone. So great friend of the program, Danielle here, guys. She says, serious question. Do you all believe we will have a winning season this upcoming year? If not, when do you think that'll be? So I'm going to take off my brown and rose colored glasses, my brown and orange colored glasses. I only see the Browns having a winning season, and I'm being all seriousness because I look at our schedule as well. If the Browns really do go get a bridge quarterback, someone like Kirk Cousins, and why I say that is because someone like Kirk Cousins knows Stefanski's offense, and if you have a Travis Hunter here, you can do that at the end of the day. Then you're probably a 9, 10, 11 win team if you're lucky with a guy that can come in and run Stefanski's offense. Because remember, Kirk Cousins just a few years ago was in Minnesota. That was his quarterback, and he took the Vikings to the NFC Championship game with Kirk Cousins. And again, stable quarterback play doesn't mean you need to have an elite quarterback. Joe Flacco was not an elite quarterback, but he was a great game manager, and he won multiple games. You don't need this elite guy to come in and do it. So, Danielle, I think that all depends on if we – unless some rookie quarterback wows us and just jumps in and does it. Kenny Pickett ain't doing it, I'll tell you that. Sorry. But, 8, 9, 10 wins. But Ray, I'll go to you next. What do you think this season? Oh, and sorry. And Danielle, if not, I think the Browns have enough assets and enough draft capital next year to be competitive and have a winning season for next year if this is kind of a reset year for the Browns. So next year, I think our defense is still good, all those things. We're 1 year off, in my humble opinion.
So we're answering Danny's question.
Yeah. We're answering. Yeah.
My whole thing is I'll know better after the draft and free agency. How
well free agency's over though. I don't think there's going to be any more big moves. That's kind of over. So
there's usually a couple after the draft. But it's tough. I don't like doing this, but I'm gonna have to agree with Dustin. it all comes down to that who's under center. That's really it. Because we know what can happen if we get a Flacco and we catch fire, because we've seen it 2 years ago. So that could easily and we haven't really lost a whole lot from that team 2 years ago. So I think we have a really good chance. And by the way, I do believe that Flacco probably is going to be that bridge quarterback. What other choices do we have? We got Flacco and Carson Wentz. Those are the only two left out there.
Okay, Larry, same question for Danny.
Yeah. Well, okay. So as far as the timing is concerned, I'm echoing what you're saying, Dustin. To the extent that you find a veteran quarterback, you may be able to be competitive enough to be winning. To what's winning? We got to do 8 games, 8.5 games.
9 and 8.
9 and 8. We could do that. We could do that with a Flacco. If they pull that off, good. My thought is the reason why I'm saying I want a Will Howard or somebody of that stature on it, and I'm not worried about it. The other part of it is I don't think that we need to worry whether or not we're a winning team this year. I think if we can get it, keep in mind, if we suck, number one, we're already used to it. We're already pretty damn good at it. Okay. As fans, we put up with it. We work on it. We have a good party. That's the one thing the Browns have advantage to us. Advantage having us as fans is that we've been beat down so hard and we party so good that it doesn't make any difference if we got to wait another year. Okay. And so my point is that I want the guy that everybody in that front office thinks is going to be the guy 2 years from now. And if we suck this year because we have to go, well, that means next year we're going to be at the front end of the draft again. We could fill it right up again. So I truly believe, irregardless of how it turns out, good or bad this year, I think we're going to be competitive the following year. So that's my opinion.
And then I'm just going to follow up because Danielle, she had kind of a 2-part question. If we do take someone like Cousins, Flacco, or that, will we leave that rookie quarterback in long enough to develop? I think that's a great question. I don't think this front office has a choice, because if it's a quarterback that's on their watch, that being Stefanski and Andrew Berry's watch, this quarterback that they do pick, if it's in the second, the first round, the third round, it's their guy. And we all know that typically that quarterback that you pick is because you think he has a high ceiling because you took him in the third or second. He's going to be that miracle guy. Or you swung in the second pick of the draft and you said, Shedeur Sanders is my guy, and you're going to live or die with him. So I think, they have to develop him at that point. And
Well, I just want you. I want to bring back a little touch of history. You get a guy. If you get the right quarterback, the guy you think is the guy, and the amount of time it takes to develop him, it'd be nice if you gave him extra time. But just remember, Ben Roethlisberger, Maddox went down, and in the second or third game of that season, Ben Roethlisberger came in. He won 13 in a row and went to the Super Bowl and won. Okay, so if we get someone like if we got a Cam Ward or we got a Will Howard or anybody with that type of stature, and they turn out to be, I mean, it's a crapshoot. We all know it. But if we get lucky enough, and it hasn't ever happened in years, if we get lucky enough to get the right quarterback, whether he starts right away because somebody gets hurt, or he gets good after 2 years. If he's the right guy, man, we're oh man, this is what we need right now. Everybody there should be a huge we should literally do a protest in the middle of downtown Cleveland right before the draft, and our sign should say, get a quarterback, the right one. Make sure you pick the right one, even if you got to be lucky. Damn it.
Okay, Larry, you got to check out the message. James says, "Hey, Larry, try doing it sober."
I'm sober. Don't start. This is me.
You are sober, Larry. I can.
You already told me I'm larger than life. What do you want me to do? I had to live up to the hype.
Yeah. He's just having some wine tonight.
Hey, look, guys.
Larry, speaking of, what's that?
Tell them what this is.
All right.
Vontae Mack,
number 51.
Yeah.
All right. So, Larry, speaking of that, I'm just going to let you do an impromptu Lorello Vineyards, just talk about Lorello Vineyards and your wine for a minute. I'm not even going to run the video.
All right, cool. Hey, everybody. Larry Lorello Vineyards. My daughter Jennifer is accepted the role as the boss. We work for my daughter Jennifer now. You'll love her. She's on Facebook a lot. You can watch some of her things that she puts out. What's happened in the last 20 years in the wine industry in Northeast Ohio, and this is like, probably 3/4 of all of us up there. The quality of the wine, the quality of the grow what we're doing to grow the plants and the vine, the grapes, and just the process has gotten better and better and better. And I know that in this world, you've all heard the Ohio bias that Ohio wine can't be any good. But I'm here to tell you, I love when someone comes up and says, "Oh, that's not bad." And I'm like, yeah, but the problem is you're comparing it to, you think it sucks. And at the end of the day, please stop out. Not just Lorello Vineyards, but all the wineries in Northeast Ohio. The quality of the wines are really stepping up. And we're doing the same thing at Lorello Vineyards.
And of course, we have the Here We Go Brownies wine out there. And a portion of that goes to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. And Larry and I have a collaboration that we're going to do right this fall, right, Larry? We're going to do something a little different with the Here We Go Brownies wine this fall to mix it up and do something a little fun and different, right? But we can't tell anybody yet. That's still under wraps. So
right, yeah, we're working on different stuff for sure.
All right, guys. So let's get into it. I mean, I don't know. I sit here. I kind of wish the draft was already here. We lost Larry. Hopefully he'll be back. But it'll be interesting to see where the Browns go. So I think, Ray, we talk about this all the time. This is one of the most important, if not most important draft, probably in 10 years for the Cleveland Browns, because you have a front office. They kept them. We have an owner that literally, it's very interesting. We were talking about this in the office today. The fact that you have an owner at the owners' meetings come out and say, we swung and missed on Deshaun Watson. And by the way, it's going to take us a couple of years to get the quarterback position right. And then basically that's all out there. And then Deshaun Watson continues to make Instagram reels. And we were like, this is just crazy. He's at the facility making these reels saying, you know, don't count me out and all that. It's a little weird and wild. But I do. And he said, you know, the buck stops with me. I'm the owner. D and I are the owners. So, you know, I have to give kudos to the owner for just owning it. And I think that meant a lot to the fans. But it's just a weird time in that building with the Cleveland Browns and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't see him playing another down for the Cleveland Browns, but it's just an interesting time that you do that. And then all that smoke screen is kind of out there, but it is what it is. So, you know, let's move into the second round. Obviously, we all know that. Do the Browns move up from that 33rd pick or 34th pick of the second round? Do they feel like they have to move up to go above, you know, that being the Steelers or someone like that, or do they stay put and go after? Because I mean, there's some needs on this team. This offensive line is aging. It is a deep running back class, so you may not have to take a running back at 2. But Ray, I'll start with you. Browns stay put. They take a pick at 2, and now they're at the top of the second round. They didn't do any aggressive trades. Who do you take?
Man, I like that big defensive tackle at the Ohio State University. I think it's Williams. I think it was the guy that I was sitting with at the Ohio State show.
He's a big man. He's a big man.
Yes. And I sat there with him and talked for about an hour with him. Got his head on right. Love his energy. And with the way we shuffle the defensive tackles, we never have enough of them. So I'm taking Tariq Williams.
Yeah, I was gonna a couple things I do want to announce to you guys while we're in the show. Tomorrow night is a big night with our partners over at Prime Time Sports. So guys, if you can join us tomorrow night, speaking of Ohio State Buckeyes, they're going to have Lathan Ransom will be there tomorrow night from 5 to 7. Also, Sandy Alomar Jr. will be there. Also, Clase will be there, and Jerry Judy will all be at Primetime Sports tomorrow night. You can get a meet and greet, or you can get autographs. They're all going to be there for those guys. So that's at the Great Northern Mall tomorrow night, starting at 5 and going until 8. We will be out there. Come by and say hello, and come check that out. And then also, just to give you guys a little bit more information, we're pretty excited about this. This is going to be a really great event coming up, and this is going to be on April 19th. So, guys, this is going to be something really cool, something that we've been looking forward to doing. Our new partners over at Lake Erie Distillery. That's right, Lake Erie Distillery in Willoughby, Ohio. We're going to be doing a pre-draft party there Saturday night from 5 to 8. Some special guests will more than likely be showing up as well. We'll be announcing those soon, but you're going to be able to try the Here We Go Brownies shot, the Here We Go Brownies mule, and the Here We Go Brownies cocktail. Tickets for this event are $10, but that includes a drink ticket. So you already got a drink. As soon as you get there, you can try it. They'll have some great food. We're going to have hundreds of dollars of prizes. I think Ray said he's going to bring something amazing, putting Ray on the spot here. But it's going to be April 19th. So that's next Saturday, not this Saturday, from 5 to 8 p.m. with our friends over at Lake Erie Distillery. So, Larry, you're at number 2. You didn't have to trade up, or for whatever reason, the Cleveland Browns did not get aggressive. You took whatever player. Let's say, I'll give you this scenario. The Browns took a quarterback at number 2. They said, that's our guy. Who do you take?
Right. I'm still, I mean, what Ray said at the top of the show, I still believe is correct. And that is we need a quarterback. Now, just because we didn't take one at number 2, because Hunter was on the board, which is, spectacular to get someone like that, you still need a quarterback. And so I'm saying whatever's the best thing on the board, whatever they still think is the best thing on the board, I want a quarterback and get that off the board as soon as you can. I mean, most of the quarterbacks go in the first, second round of all the drafts. So if you want a quarterback, you need to get your quarterback now. And we really can't afford to not have at least a prospect this year.
Right.
Okay. I
That's a
don't
good
want to
point.
wait till the third, fourth. Actually, I'll go with Ray. I'm saying second pick, you go ahead and pick a quarterback. You get back to the fifth or sixth round, wherever the hell the number is, pick another one. Get another one.
That's fair. That's fair.
It doesn't
Yeah,
cost
that's
anything to
fair.
take two quarterbacks in the draft. They're rookies. Don't worry about it. For with the price of all these quarterbacks, it's cheap. Hell, we already know what it costs for a really expensive one that don't do anything. So it should be pretty easy to get one that'll actually work a little bit. Damn it. Damn it.
So let me ask you that same question though, Larry. Say the Browns take Travis Hunter,
Yeah.
the Browns take Shedeur Sanders at 2. Who are you
Yeah.
taking at 2? Because I think that's too high to go back-to-back quarterbacks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a whole. If they pull that one off, now you got a quarterback. You can't afford to do two quarterbacks in a move up to a first round. So you're not going to do that. I'm going to stick with that in the first, second round. No matter how many picks we get, no matter how the hell we do it, we need offense. So I would stick on the offensive side of the board. We get later in the draft. Let's go ahead and get some defense. Let's face it, guys. We have a defense that at least is middle of the road as far as the NFL is concerned, and probably a little bit better than that. We really don't
Right.
need to spend a lot of effort on line right or defense right now. If you get the offense right, the defense will get better on its own.
Good point. So would
Yeah.
you take? So say you're there for a skilled position. It's
Yeah,
a pretty
okay.
deep running back class. Would you take a wide receiver or would you go tight end or running back?
It'd be one of the other. I'd love if there was a good wide receiver out there. I'd probably go wide receiver. But we need a running back just as bad, maybe even more. We probably need him even more. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
we got Judy, so we got a little bit to work with. I'd probably go. I'd love to get your boy out of Boise State, man. I'd take him in
He'll
a
be gone.
second. He'll be gone by
He
then.
will,
It's only a
he will
second
be
round.
no. So he is now projected to go to the Raiders or the Bears. That's where they feel he's going to land.
Okay, that's 10 or 6 or 10.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
if you think about that, he's
Well, don't we have
definitely
a
going to
really
go
good
early.
running back from Ohio State? Who would be another good running back we could pick? I mean, we need. I think we probably need a running back a little bit more, and we could use the wide receiver because once Hunter's off the board, there's some good ones still out there, but it's not the same.
Okay. So let's go one more round. We're in round 3 now. I'm gonna go with the belief that the Cleveland Browns. So I'll finish this off. I'm gonna give a 2-part question or a 2-part answer here. Browns take Travis Hunter at 2. I'm gonna go running back because I think Junkins or one of those guys like the Ohio State kid could be there, and he's a game-changing difference maker. And Nick Chubb may come back, but that may be on just a 1-year deal.
You mean at 3? Your third round?
No. So I'm doing my second round, and then I'll move on.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna probably take a running back there, and that's with me.
So you're gonna skip the quarterback. You got a wide receiver.
If we take a wide receiver, I'm taking a quarterback at 34. I'm whoever is there,
Right.
I'm taking him.
Yeah, because you said you started this by saying we're going to take Hunter.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we definitely need a quarterback, man. We need a quarterback.
Yeah. So now, if we take quarterback at number 2, I'm going running back at round 2. Now, the flip side at round 3, I think this is where you probably need to start working on who you think might be the best
offensive line.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm going to go offensive tackle here, maybe even offensive guard. We know Joel Petonio is a really good guy, but we don't know how much longer he's going to be with us. But I think you got to go O-line to start building that depth. So
definitely,
Ray, I'm going to go third round here. Where are you looking at here? Who are you thinking?
Well, third round, I was thinking I don't believe JLK is coming back. I mean, I wish him well, but I have a feeling that neck injury is probably going to be ending his career. So I'm going back to Notre Dame.
Well, there is an update. There is an update with JOK. Yeah, so there is an update on JOK. He is making progress, but he may not be ready for the start of training camp. So do I believe that there is a possibility now that there's a little more information out there that JOK comes back? Yes, so I feel a little better about that. So I just wanted to give you an update on it. There is a little more positive because there said he is making progress. Before it was just like crickets, as you know. But go ahead.
Right, but yeah, I'm going to Notre Dame, and I'm plucking the safety that they. I mean, he's a bell ringer. Xavier Watts, safety.
He was. Yeah, he was a playmaker.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So I'm going Watts in the third.
Yeah.
So, a quick word from one of our guys over. I just want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at We Bleed Ohio. That's right, guys. These are the folks that make our Here We Go Brownies merch, our hoodie, and our t-shirts. Great place to get some amazing stuff at We Bleed Ohio. They have the new baseball themed shirts. They have basketball themed shirts as you're getting ready for the Cavs and the playoffs, and the Guardians that just had a home opener yesterday. That's right. Guardians walk-off walk. That's funny to even say about a walk-off walk yesterday for the win here. And then, of course, all those cool different Browns things. But go check them out at We Bleed Ohio. Larry, they're also working on a cool T-shirt for you. I gave him the instructions to start that Muni Lot mural type of shirt, so he's having a little fun with that. But we're looking forward to that fun stuff.
That's going to be the Muni Lot Browns backers official T-shirt, and it's going to feature the Muni Lot starting from my bus and Scotty Nanari's bus with the banner, and behind it the rest of the lot. That's going to be a cool looking T-shirt when we're done with it.
Guys, another quick shout out to our friends over at Stadium Mustard. Right, if you don't have it in your kitchen, you're doing something wrong. Here's the really cool thing, guys. If you are coming to the NFL draft in Green Bay, that's right. You're going to be able to come to Larry's bus and where we're set up for those days on Thursday and Friday and get yourself, even Wednesday, if you're in there in town early for the show, we're going to be giving away free Stadium Mustard, right? So if you're traveling to the draft or you have a friend, stop by. We'll have bottles. Nothing. All you have to do is ask. Come get a free bottle of Stadium Mustard. We'll have some T-shirts, but just some great giveaways. We'll have a lot of giveaways, by the way, guys, including some stuff from Primetime Sports that we're going to be giving away. So we're really looking forward to it. As I say, Larry, I think this is probably the first draft, just to talk about that draft a little bit. Larry, this might be the first draft, well, I know it is, that we have literally been this close to the action. So, I mean, this is going to be kind of crazy that we're going to be like in the belly of the beast, basically, for all these Browns fans. So, Larry, kind of paint the picture for folks that haven't been to an NFL draft, thinking about going there, maybe live in the Midwest and they're going up there.
Yeah.
Paint the picture. I mean, by the way, the draft is free to everybody. So if you're a fan, you just download the NFL draft pass and you're in. You're basically in for free all 3 days. But Larry, talk to folks a little bit about what that experience is like, just for the draft in general.
Yeah. What's really cool about the draft, and we don't get the chance to do this anything other than the draft. You get every fan from every team that are at the draft, and if you're lucky enough to get one of the tickets in the front instead of the general admission, if you can get up front, each team has its own section. Dustin pulled that one off a couple of years ago in Kansas City. And I mean, it literally is you are high-fiving, carrying on with guys from San Diego, from LA, from all over the NFL. And that's starting out. That's the cool thing. You get to see the people from different teams, the culture, the way they party. We in Cleveland, we say that we got the best tailgate party. We have to do our best. No. We have to prove to the world that our tailgate party is better than everybody else's, and that's why we drive the bus to the draft. We set up the banner. We go ahead and get Big Willie's going to be there.
Yep.
We'll be carrying on inside that thing that there's a band that's going to be there. But when you get there,
by the way, live music all 3 days.
all
at
3
Crowell's
days,
West.
the bar's got a band and like 6 bars sitting outside on the parking lot. But what's cool about it is you go ahead and go to the party, you hang out, we do our Cleveland Browns shtick. We come inside, look at play around at the bus, and then when it's time to go to the draft, you get up and you leave and you walk around the stadium, because this year we're sitting on the southwest corner of the stadium, and the northeast corner is where the stage is. You just walk around the stadium and go right up to the darn thing, and then watch the second pick, man. It's fun because everyone's screaming. Actually, what happens is that unless it's Hunter or Shedeur Sanders or Carter, unless it's somebody like in the first 5 that as soon as they say it, you don't even know what the hell they said because you're screaming so loud. It takes you a while to register the fact that who the hell you just picked. So it's a blast. If you guys haven't done it, you need to come out.
Yeah, and I will say, when we went to Kansas City a couple years ago, the fact that like Roger Goodell is walking down the aisle and talking to the fans and the interaction. I mean, we turned around, and this. Jason Kelsey was right there. He came over. Where's my Browns people? And he just literally came over there. So you have Jason Kelsey, a Cleveland kid, showing up because he was walking around the draft as a guest of the Philadelphia Eagles. But I just tell people, if you've never gone to an NFL draft and you have an opportunity in your life, you definitely should do it. And you know what? This is to all my Cleveland fans that live in the greater Cleveland area. You know what you better do next year, and you damn well better do it? The NFL draft is in Pittsburgh next year, which is a 2-hour drive from Cleveland. So Browns Nation, they sure as hell better show up in Pittsburgh, because what do you want to do to the enemy? You want to make them feel uncomfortable in their own house. So I would love to see a throng of thousands of Browns fans taking over Pittsburgh. That would just make my heart. I would love to see that. But 2 hours away,
I think
that should be a no-brainer.
For sure. We should get buses, line them up.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, real quick, I want to give another shout out to one of our folks over at This Is Right, guys. It's about ready to take and get ready to go out on the lake. Our friends over at Lady Caroline. That's right. Lady Caroline takes out right out of the port. They do lunch cruises, dinner cruises, do all these amazing cruises. We are actually, this is right, guys, sometime before the season kicks off this year, we are going to do a Here We Go Brownies cruise, where we're going to invite fans to come out on the boat and do a cruise pre-season, but we're going to do that on Lady Caroline. And then, guys, if you're down there and you're enjoying it, guess what? If you're looking for something to do now or anytime in between, go over and check out the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. That's right, guys. The Greater Cleveland Aquarium, great place to take your children, your grandchildren. If you're teachers or anyone, you want to visit this place. Now, you guys both don't know this, but sometime in July, I believe, as you can see, that is the actual Shark Tank at the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. I am going to do a live podcast from the Shark Tank. So literally, you'll be watching me on the show, and sharks will be going right behind me. So that's going to be a fun thing that we're going to be doing in July, is going out to the Shark Tank at the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. It's a lot of fun. If you guys have never been down there, look for our ticket giveaways on that. We're also giving away a 1-year pass for your entire family to go on that down there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Ray, why don't we, Ray, I'm going to take an opportunity here, because a lot of people already know this. But more than likely, for sure, we know this next week, for sure, 100%, maybe sooner. But Ray, you are about to become part of the family of the Here We Go Brownies A&D Media family. Take it away. Tell people what your purpose is, what your thoughts are, or and what your new podcast is going to be called. Take it away, Ray.
So yes, on like Dustin just said, on his platform, we'll be launching the Super Fan Addicts podcast, and basically it's going to be an all-inclusive, all teams, all sports. And probably what I'll do, I'll probably break it up, because I know I'm orange and brown to the heart. So I might eventually do half an hour Browns, second half an hour, all sports and everything like that. But initially we're going to just start it off with all sports and just see where it takes us.
Well, I bet you Larry would love to come on and talk crazy super fan Brown stuff with you at some point. Because I don't think he doesn't, not that Larry doesn't have anything to say, but I'm sure Larry would have plenty to say on your show.
He's larger than life. He's going to have plenty to say.
Yeah, and I look like I'm drunk when I say it. I love it. Oh, God. Hey, you should see me when I'm really animated. You should see me when I'm really animated.
Yeah, well, I think it's funny. Like, as we know, Larry's a very diehard fan. He's been doing this, since 78 in the Muni? Is that right?
78? Yeah, 77, 78, yeah.
Yeah, so Larry, I think Larry has seen it all. He's seen everything from the drive, the fumble, the team leaving, the team coming back. Larry has seen it all. So, by the way, we do need to share a little bit of information. Larry's not going to probably like this, but I probably need to share this with Larry. A very key component happened in the Ohio legislature today, where
I heard
the $600 million passed the House to fund Brook Park and the Browns Dome for the 2029 season. So it does still have to pass the Senate. I really don't think the governor can veto it. The governor did have a different plan that now this bill can go to the governor's desk and amendments can be taken back to the floor. I was in government. I know how this works. So this is not done by any means yet. There could be some negotiating happening. That's what happens in the State House. So, but it's a big key move that it got through the House and is moving on to the Senate to move to Brook Park. Ray, I'll start with you. That's a significant thing for the Browns today. That was the biggest hurdle, was, starting to get that thing out of committee through for a vote and now onto the Senate. This is a slippery slope, and I'm gonna precursor this. The Cincinnati Bengals are listening and watching, and they've already kind of made a I wouldn't say threat, but their lease is over after next year, and they literally can go anywhere they want, or they can extend their lease at Paycor down in Cincinnati. But Ray, what do you take of this? It made it through the House today.
Hey, I'm loving it because the sooner we can get a dome, the happier I'll be, because I'm serious. It's just too cold, and the way the weather is here, yeah, put it inside, and that way we don't have to worry about the weather. But I love the fact. But wait a minute, you brought up something interesting, because if the Browns move to Brook Park, would it be feasible? Would it be feasible for Paul Brown's son to move the Bengals to Cleveland?
No, that won't happen. Well, and I'll tell you why it won't happen, because they did bring this up about Cincinnati, and then I'll let Larry jump in here. The one thing they did talk about is if, for say, the Bengals wanted to do that, they can't. They can't because of the Art Modell law. So if Cincinnati wanted to literally leave the state of Ohio, that being the Bengals, they have to, because of the Art Modell rule, and that's why there's all this semantics about the county and the mayor are trying to invoke the Art Modell law, but they're really not leaving; they're just going to a suburb. So they're like, it really doesn't. That's not what it was meant to be.
Hold on now. Cincinnati wouldn't be leaving Ohio if they came to Cleveland. That's just
no. Right, but there's no way you'd have two teams in one city. For one, there would not be enough funding from a county level or a state level or a city level. You couldn't even fund that. Like, that's not even a thing. And I don't think, that would be, we're not LA, we're not New York, right? There is not enough tax dollars to go around. But they did make an interesting move that they said, and this is how the Modell law is written. If Cincinnati basically says we're moving out of Ohio, they have to put it up for sale, basically, and allow a 6-month time period for someone to try to buy it locally. So what that means is somebody in Cincinnati, or hell, let's just call it for what it is, Columbus, Ohio, somewhere else that wouldn't be maybe as affected, from a tax base, could come in and buy it. So I do find that interesting that in that case, the Modell rule would apply to the Cincinnati Bengals trying to move out of the state. But Larry, I know you're very passionate about this.
Oh,
we have
yeah.
many conversations.
You know how I feel about this. Well, first of all, I'm going to say this. All of us as Browns fans, if you want to put a roof over my head so I don't freeze my ass off for the game, go right ahead. I don't have a problem with it. All right. What I got a problem with is, and I suggest to all you listeners, get on YouTube and go and look up the PSLs for Buffalo Stadium. Just watch a little bit of that. Here's the way I look at it. Okay. If the state's going to pay for some of it, fine. If the owner's going to pay some of it, fine. But if you took 50,000 seats, because they're going to sell about that in Buffalo, they're selling, I think, like 40 something thousand seats are PSL seats. The rest of them, I don't know how they do that. They're minimum or something. But you take 50,000 seats in our stadium at $10,000 average PSL per seat. That's $500 million. So when you tell me that the owner's paying his share and that the state's paying their share, I'm calling bullshit, because we're paying. Because look, folks, the PSL is a figment of the NFL's imagination. It's a non-existent tax for the Cleveland Browns fan that should not even exist. It didn't exist before. And the fact that we paid for it when we were in the first stadium and it was $1,500 a seat or whatever the hell it was, that's enough. If you're telling me you want to build a stadium so that all of us fans can sit underneath that roof and you're that happy about it, Jimmy, then don't charge us a PSL, because all you're doing is bullshitting us. Okay, that's the way I feel about it.
Okay, so I do have an opinion on that. And
go ahead.
And I'm not trying to take like the neutral approach, but if you look at dome stadiums, that being Minnesota, where the Vikings just built, the Detroit Lions, another team, some of these stadiums that have come on board recently, I don't think there is some of that thought that the PSLs would be way up there. Now, are they going to be more? Yes. Are they going to be astronomical like the Bills? I don't know. And I guess where I come from this, I think it'll be somewhere in the middle. And this was something that a lot of people brought up.
Dustin, they're not even building a dome in Buffalo. We're building a dome. So there's no way to. It's $30,000. The rumor out there is they've seen papers for $30,000 for a lower bowl seat in Buffalo.
Well, but you got to remember this though. To your point, you just was about what I was about to say. A dome versus an outdoor stadium. So what I mean by that is when you're Jimmy Haslam and you're charging a season ticket holder prices for that stadium, you also have 20 to 30 more events or maybe more in that stadium that you're collecting from a revenue standpoint. The Buffalo Bills are going to be able to do a few concerts in that stadium. They're going to be able to do that, but it's not a year-round facility. Last time I checked, it snows a hell of a lot in Buffalo.
No, you're right. You're right. But when you and I were in Las Vegas and we watched the Browns game, that Browns game was sometime in October. Okay.
Yeah.
So our ticket said event number 18. That means that year, up until our date of October, there were only 18 events that happened in Las Vegas. Okay.
Right, but remember that was early October, right? So they had only played 4 football games. So if you add the rest of the season, that means they're going to probably do at least 30 events in that stadium, at least at Allegiant Stadium, right? Because you got
Okay,
18.
no disagreement, but not in Cleveland. You-
Well, but they would though. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, and I'm just going to call a spade a spade. If you have the Cleveland Auto Show, it's probably moving to the new stadium in Brook Park. If you're doing an RV show, or if you want these big conventions that come to Cleveland, the Final Four, the Super Bowl,
Hey.
they're all going to that dome. Like they're all
I
going to
don't.
be in that.
Hey, I don't disagree with you. I agree with you. So if Haslam's got 30 events happening in Cleveland, even more of a reason why he doesn't need our money for the PSL. Or he
No, that's
doesn't
what
need
I'm
a.
saying. No, but that's what I'm saying.
Oh, is that what you're
That's
making?
what-
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So my point being is when they thought there was going to be these exuberant PSLs in Minnesota and these other domed cities like Detroit, they didn't. I mean, they did cost more, but they weren't like crazy prices because you had all these other events to offset your money in that building,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because if you think about it, I mean, you're gonna have a lot more events.
Oh, I see what
And
you're
you're-
saying. I see what you're saying. Buffalo can't do that. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So Buffalo can't do that, right? So who do they have to get their money from? The fans, right? Corporate
That was a real
sponsors.
mistake then. As a
Yeah, well,
fan,
I
I
mean-
would have said put the dome on it.
Well, here's the truth. We all said that. Of all cities in the United States of America that should have a stadium with a dome on it, it's Buffalo, New York, because they have games that get canceled, and we've seen it, where the Bills have to go to Detroit to play a home game. Like, it's crazy to me that you would continue to. Oh, and by the way, you can have a free ticket if you bring a snow shovel to shovel out the stadium. Like, it's wild. Now, allegedly, the new stadium, 60% of it will be covered with the new design and all that, but still the field's not covered. And if a blizzard
Yeah,
comes,
it's still cold, right? It's still, you can't have
Yeah.
a concert in it when it's cold.
yeah.
Yeah, listen. Hey, I mean, I'm not totally insane about it. Okay, if it turns out that the Browns come up with I'm in a lower bowl, 113 in the back end, and that same ticket for a PSL in a new stadium is 5,000 a ticket. Hey, I'm undercover for 20 grand spread over the rest of my life. Okay, big deal.
Right. Right.
But they come up with 10, 15, $20,000. Come on, man.
Well, I
I
will
don't have
say
enough
this.
runway. I need a Super Bowl win before I give you all that money.
Well, that's fair. I will give you this though. I will say this, which I think is very interesting, and I will say this for a long time. This owner has been hesitant to raise ticket prices on the Browns in general.
Yeah.
So
What are
if
you
you think
talking
about
about?
that in general,
He raised
Uh,
it. Yeah, he raised it 2 times already in the last 2 years.
right? But we went to the playoffs. I'm saying in years past, he's been hesitant to raise the ticket prices. And by the way, I think we're still in the bottom 2/3 of the cheapest tickets in the National Football League. So at the end of the day, I don't know if he's going to do that or not. So, but it is what it is. But hey, that's the debate.
Ray, jump in there, beat him up a little bit for me. I'm getting tired.
I'm the dome guy, so I can't help you, Larry. I want to help you, Larry, but I can't help you.
All right, okay.
All right. Well, hey, I think we got into a lot of great debate tonight, guys. Ray, thanks for jumping in and pinch hitting tonight. Larry, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk offline a little bit more. I had some more information to give you on the Great Green Bay. But yeah,
draft.
let's again look for Ray's new podcast. It's gonna be super exciting. May 19th or April 19th. Look forward to anybody that can come out to the launch of our new Lake Erie Distillery and the fun stuff out there in Willoughby. And of course, Larry and I are excited. Larry, we are 2 weeks away from tonight. We will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So
Yes,
it's going
we
to be
will.
a lot of excitement coming away. So with that, guys, we are going to wrap it up. Stay safe.
Go
And as
Browns.
always, go Browns.
Go Browns.